Welcome in to Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago until 3 Eastern. You can join the show by calling or texting us at 310-840-4910. Abdalla, we got to start with the Western Conference Finals last night. The Thunder bounced back. They evened the series, one game apiece, and they win the game last night, 122-113. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in MVP form, 30 points, 9 assists, and the Thunder respond after game one where the Spurs looked amazing. Here come the Thunder, and that run in the fourth quarter, about mid-fourth quarter, around the 7-minute mark, an 11-0 run from the Thunder really put it away last night.
That looked more like the Thunder that we're used to seeing throughout the regular season. That I know it took until that run in the fourth quarter to kind of put the game away, but there were times where the game looked like it was going to be a traditional Thunder. We're going to run away with it. And then the Spurs came back a little bit. And then now the Spurs are dealing with some injury. Harper left the game. Fox was on the bench once again, not playing in the game. We'll see if he can play in game 3. We'll get injury news maybe on Harper, whether it's today or tomorrow before the game. And now, what are the Spurs going to do with one or maybe two of their players that they need injured? And to see how the Thunder are going to respond now on the road. Is this just going to be the Thunder were maybe a little rusty with all the rest that they've been dealing with throughout the playoffs and dealing with game one, and maybe the Spurs were a little hyped going into game one, and now the Thunder have kind of settled in to this series and this is just what they are? Or will this be more of a back and forth if Harper is able to play and if Fox is able to come back from his sore ankle and is able to play in game 3? I think the Thunder, and SGA talked about it a little bit after the game, that he's got to be better with dealing with this rest that they're used to, that they may be getting used to. And I know, listen, they're annoying as hell, man. Like
Already.
This team is so annoying. Like
2 minutes into the show, you're ripping off the Band-Aid. You can't just celebrate a Thunder win.
I can't because the way that they were playing with Hartenstein and his
annoying.
He's pulling hair yesterday.
That's wild.
Like, what are we doing? Like this, you can't celebrate a win like this because everything they're doing is annoying in the game. Like you can't they're being overly physical. And look, that's fine. If you want to be physical with Victor Wembanyama and that's how you're going to throw him off his game, that's fine. And it's on the Spurs to find a way to respond and do something within the legality of the game, physical-wise, to respond and throw the Thunder off their game. I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm just saying you got to do something to respond and do something physical to throw the Thunder off their game because they're obviously doing something. And we saw Wemby get frustrated in the last series against the Timberwolves and throw an elbow against Naz Reid. And you don't want it to get to that point because then Victor Wembanyama is going to be suspended for a game. You don't want it to get to that point. So something has to happen because the Thunder are doing the exact same thing that other teams have done to Victor Wembanyama, and they're frustrating him physically, and you can see it's getting to him. You can see it.
The fact that the Thunder got 27 minutes out of Hartenstein last night kind of proves to that point. Like, in game one, they did not get that, and they were not of that caliber. You started the conversation pointing to the Spurs and their health. I mean, the Thunder bounced back with a win without Jalen Williams. Mm-hmm. So, don't cry poor for me over the guards for the Spurs not being there. The second best player on the Thunder wasn't there last night, and the Thunder won the game.
That's just how deep they
commanding, commanding fashion, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not, it is up for the individual teams to respond. I would say this. Here's the one thing that you're saying it's up to them to respond to the physical nature of the way that the Thunder played last night. Usually, this kind of works itself out throughout a series because what will happen in game 3? Game 3, you change scenes. You go to San Antonio. Usually, in league history, the whistle is a little heavier on the road opponent. It's usually how it happens. We've seen it in the past when you have a finesse team go up against a brawling team, a team that wants to be down and dirty, more physical, whatever you want to look at it. And if Abdalla's claiming that that's the way the Thunder won the game last night, I'm guessing as an observer of basketball that that's going to take care of itself when you switch scenes and you now are the team that's on the road. Usually what happens is those teams that try and act more physical, the moment they pop onto the road in the games, the officials are going to start calling those a little bit more, a little tighter. And then next thing you know, it's even because those guys like Hartenstein can't be out there just trying to intimidate physically in those situations. So like, yeah, I mean, maybe there's someone on the bench, Kelly Olynyk, or someone that you can throw out there for a couple minutes and have him just go out there and throw down or do something. Yeah, maybe. I also think the way this series is going to go is that we're looking at a 7-game series. Yeah. And things will teeter-totter back and forth between who we think will win this series, who's going to have more command of the series, and how it goes. And now Friday night, we get Game 3. This is must-see television. I think people love this matchup. And I think there's a lot of great storylines that go into it. And specifically last night, we did not see the Victor Wembanyama that we saw in Game 1. He still had a good game, 21 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. But the downfall of the Spurs last night, it was the turnovers. 9 specifically from Stephon Castle, 21 overall from the Spurs last night. They got to take care of the basketball. They take care of the basketball, I think they're fine, especially going home.
Well, it was 27 points off those turnovers, so you can't do that. You can't mishandle the basketball like that. My point is to you saying that, even without, Jalen Williams, they were able to find a way to win that game. They're that deep, the Thunder are. Whereas the Spurs, if both Fox and you find a way for Dylan Harper and he can't go for a game or two, if both those guys are out, I don't know if the Spurs are deep enough to win a series without both those players. Whereas we've seen the Thunder have been able to win an entire series without Jalen Williams. So they can find a way to get through this series. Whereas you've got not necessarily two of their best players, but two pretty decent players for the Spurs. It's not like you're going to miss Stephon Castle. It's obviously like you're not missing Victor Wembanyama out there, but they're two guys that they need in this series to try to get past the Thunder. And I think that listen, I don't know if Jalen Williams is going to be able to come back and play in Game 3 or Game 4 or the rest of the series at all. I don't know if, you get back and you see, we'll get an injury update on any of the Spurs here today or tomorrow. But the fact is that Victor Wembanyama is getting frustrated physically. They have to take better care of the basketball. And I think that when you get back to San Antonio, the Spurs are a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know if that means injury-wise who's going to play, or they just think that getting back home will mean that the Spurs can play better and will play better. And I agree with you. From what we've seen so far, despite the end of the game, the Thunder kind of running away with it towards the end, I do think that originally, before Game 1, I thought this was going to be, a 6-game, maybe even a 5-game series for the Thunder. Now it is looking more like a 7-game series because I do think that the Spurs are closer to the Thunder than we thought.
That's surprising to me. I thought that this had 7 games written all over it from the start. And the reason being these are the two best teams in the NBA. And they're the two best teams in the NBA playing at their best. This is going to be the best basketball we see this year. I don't care what the finals have to offer. This is the series. And it's the marquee series. And we don't have the immediate ratings from Game 2 yet, but we do have the ratings from Game 1 that we saw earlier this week. And the Game 1 of this series was one of the most watched Game 1s in a conference final series that we've seen ever in the NBA. Here's the list of the top-rated games in the conference finals in league history. Okay, so when you think about this, Spurs Thunder. Thunder just won a championship. Younger team. This is the start. The Spurs with Wembanyama. They haven't accomplished anything. This is the very start, right? Like the storylines have not built up. Usually when this stuff happens where we have these big time numbers, these ratings that are out there where everyone's paying attention to something, usually it's a storyline that we know. It's an all-time great. It's this, that, and the other, right? Like, so keep that in mind when you listen to this list. The number one game ever for the conference final opener in the ratings was Bulls-Knicks in 1993. So that's Jordan, that's Ewing, it's multiple years of the Bulls and the Knicks facing off against each other in the playoffs. That did 16.1 million views in that game for the opener for that series. Mm-hmm. Second on the list, Magic Bulls 1996. So that was the year following the Magic eliminating the Bulls from the playoffs. Jordan came back in 95 for the short at the end of the season. You know, the whole I'm back thing. So it's Jordan going against Shaq and Penny and that Magic team that was awesome. That game did 14.2. So that was number two. The third game on the list, 1998, Pacers and Bulls. Okay, Reggie Miller and the Pacers had a chance to try and go to the finals. It was the last run, the last dance for the Chicago Bulls. That makes a lot of sense. Then we get 3 Bulls and Pistons matchups in the conference finals. The Bulls and the Pistons face off 3 years in a row from 89 to 91. So you got all 3 of those matchups. So it's early Jordan, early Bulls before they dethroned the Pistons, and the Pistons were a team that won back-to-back NBA titles. The Heat and the Bulls are mixed in there. That's LeBron. That's from 2011. So that's LeBron and the Heat with Dwayne Wade. And then D. Rose and the Bulls that 1 year that they had a chance getting to the conference finals. And then as the list continues, the very next game, it's Spurs Thunder from this week. You see what I'm saying? Like, we look at some of the legendary matchups in league history. The only other 2 games that are on the list, Lakers Kings in 2002. That was Shaq, Kobe taking on C. Webb and Mike Bibby and those Sacramento Kings teams in 2002. And then the Celtics and the Heat. That would have been KG, Pierce, Allen taking on LeBron.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, just think of the storylines that we have with those matchups, right? A lot of it was the Bulls with Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. You get a couple of the LeBron Heat sprinkled in there. Mm-hmm. Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And then you get this matchup, Spurs and Thunder. So, like, last night, I think this was going to be 7 all along. But then you see last night, the Thunder bounced back, and boom, that's what we have. Game 3 on Friday night. And I think everyone in the sports world is paying attention to this series because it's fascinating. And it really is the future of the NBA.
And I think that it's not doing, or it's definitely stepping up to the expectations too, because the basketball is just so
great.
Good.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. You know, and like, look, the outcome of last night's game doesn't actually show how good the game was because the Thunder did kind of pull away at the end. But for the most part, the rest of the game was really good. And I do think that as long as the Spurs get at least one of these 2 guys back, I do think that they should be able to hang around for games 3 and 4 in San Antonio. But again, I do think that like they should, I think you'll get the same result that you got in Oklahoma City. I wouldn't be surprised if they split in San Antonio and then it goes back to Oklahoma and then you just go back and forth. And then you're right. You end up getting a 7-game series. So you said the ratings. I'm sure when we get to Game 7, that Game 7 rating is going to be insane should we get to that point. And I think we will.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible that it would fall. I believe that's going to fall on a Saturday night. That would be May 30th on Saturday night. Now, usually professional sports leagues would prefer those games to take place on Sunday just because you're not battling with people around the country casually who have plans on Saturday night. But I would imagine that's going to post a big number if we get to that point, no doubt.
Cancel your dinner plans.
You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. I think the question on the table is, do you think the Thunder are dirty? Do they play a dirty style of basketball, right? Hartelstein last night, the aggressive nature, the holding, the gripping. We saw on game one the Chet Holmgren video of him trying to stomp on Wemby's foot. Last night, Hartelstein trying to grab and pull the hair of Stephon Castle. I mean, come on now. I also counted last night 7 different times where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander attempted a shot and then fell to the ground. Sir, you're more than welcome to stay on your 2 feet after you try and complete a field goal. It is an option that many players in the past have tried to utilize. You are more than welcome to keep yourself standing upright after you attempt a field goal. You do not have to go laying on the ground, sir. That's not what basketball is. I know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just enjoys flopping around on the floor. You can attempt a field goal and continue to stand. That is something that is available. 7 different times last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's on the ground after a field goal attempt. What are we doing?
I don't.
Are they dirty? Is this a dirty squad?
I don't necessarily think they're dirty in the sense of like
pulling hair, stomping on someone's foot while you're trying to get ready for a free throw rebound.
Well, like when you think of like a dirty player, there's been tripping incidents.
I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's anything dirtier than pulling someone's hair.
Well, yes, obviously that's dirty. But
that's
would you
like
label
the
Hartenstein
apex of it.
A dirty player, or was it was it a singular dirty incident? Because like there are NBA players that you would label as like dirty players that have had multiple infractions of like tripping, like Draymond. Draymond has kicked a dude, multiple times, multiple infractions between the legs.
Sure,
we know he's probably got that label, dirty player, right? We just know that. So I wouldn't put Hartenstein in that category. I would say it was an incident. Much like I would say like the Thunder, I don't know if they're a dirty team. I just think that when they get frustrated like this, the foul baiting is, look, I think that's a different category than dirty. It's frustrating. I don't like it.
I think
it's annoying.
Stomping on someone's foot when you're lining up for a free throw and pulling hair, that's dirty.
But again, what they're not used in the last 2 years or so, they're not used to this level of competition. They're not used to this point, to someone like this. I know the Pacers took them to 7 games last year, but right now, like so far this season, in this playoffs, they haven't seen a team be able to do this to them so far.
You can text the show at 310-840-4910. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Late yesterday in the show, we got news that Aaron Rodgers announced to the Pittsburgh media that he will retire after this season. Is that good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers? We'll talk about that coming up next.
Aaron Rodgers says this season is his last.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Will Rodgers go out like John Elway and Peyton Manning did with a Lombardi trophy in his hands? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Towards the end of the show yesterday, we got news that Aaron Rodgers tells the Pittsburgh media that this will be his last season in the NFL. So we don't have to wait out the season next year to figure out whether or not there will be retirement conversations going into this season. We know up front, Aaron Rodgers is telling us, he's telling the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's telling everyone, this is the last season in the NFL for Aaron Rodgers. How about that, Abdalla? We know up front, Rodgers, this is it.
Sure, Jan.
You know what's funny is, like, yesterday you were not here. Jeff Schwartz filled in for you, and Schwartz gave me almost the same exact response Like his response was like, "Sure, buddy, go away."
That's why.
No one craves attention more than Aaron Rodgers. So sure, pal.
That's why I like Jeff.
Right? Like
that's why I like Jeff. I knew I liked Jeff.
The two of you essentially gave me the same answer in back-to-back days. No one's buying this from Aaron Rodgers.
Well, look, it's not that I'm not buying it. I believe that if you had to ask Aaron Rodgers yesterday when a reporter asked him, is this the end for you? And he probably believes that on May 20th that this is the end, right? This is the end. And I'm sure that when Phillip Rivers was asked 5 years ago that it was the end for him too. And then he went and coached 4 years of high school football, and then the Colts called him and he went and he played in 3 games. So yeah, it can be the end until it's not. Until someone calls you, or until you're sitting on your couch and, I don't know, Joe Burrow gets hurt and someone calls you. And like, yeah, you can say all these things, but the fact of the matter is he threw 24 touchdowns last year and led a team to the playoffs. He's not bad. Like, that's the problem with this. This isn't some guy trying to eke out the last remaining drips and drabs of his career. He's not horrible yet. I would still rather, please go see a doctor at this point. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers over half the league at this point.
Ooh.
Really? we could do this exercise.
Do we have to?
We could do this exercise if you really wanted to.
I don't want to, but I mean, yeah,
because
I guess
it depends on the team.
It is the NFL offseason, so
here we go. It depends on the team.
How do you
doing.
Want me to sort them? Quarterback rating?
It depends on the team.
It
depends on the situation.
Is that the best metric?
And it also depends on what you're doing, right? Like,
what's our halfway point? 15, 16?
I don't know. But it also depends on the situation, right? If you're, like, take the situation last year.
So Rodgers in quarterback rating last season, he was 14th in the NFL.
Okay.
Justin Herbert was 15th.
Okay.
I would rather have Herbert.
I would also rather have Herbert. But the situation is this, okay? If the Chargers were in week 12 and Herbert gets hurt and they're leading their division and you need someone to come in and get you to the playoffs so you don't tank the rest of the season, would you rather have their backup or would you rather have Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, but because of the tag that the Steelers placed on Rodgers, that type of hypothetical is out the window.
But after this season, it's not. My point is, that's my point, is he can say he's done.
Couldn't they apply that same tag next year?
They could.
And if he doesn't play, he doesn't play?
But if he says this is it, and he says he's done, and he becomes a free agent at the end of the year, or he files his retirement papers, I don't even know if that's real, because you could
Schwartz said yesterday that it's not really real, but then
it's not real.
We always hear the story of the situation you were saying where a team needs a quarterback, and then there will be the light rumor that so-and-so's working out. And so-and-so hasn't filed their retirement papers.
Did Phillip Rivers file his paperwork? He was coaching high school football for 4 years.
I don't know.
Was he just like waiting to hit send? Like, what's he got the tab open and he was just waiting to hit send on the file?
I'm guessing these guys don't really care. If they're not planning on playing again, they don't care to be bothered with it.
I don't know. I mean, Jay Cutler was going to be broadcasting for Fox, and then Miami called him, and then he went and worked out for Miami for a little bit. So, like, there's stories of this happening all the time. So I believe that on, like I said, yesterday, May 20th, and I'm sure at the end of the season, whenever that is for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that he will say he's done. But that doesn't mean I don't believe he's actually done, because I don't think teams can quit Aaron Rodgers.
Why can't you guys just believe in a guy that's just talking truthfully?
Because I don't think he's
just trying to be honest with everyone. Because it's just Aaron Rodgers. He's just trying to let us in on his thought process here.
Because there are guys like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady.
Okay.
And I think you're going to see this with the way these guys can stay healthy longer. And can stay, and it's not going to happen with everybody, right? Like Andrew Luck walked away from the game during the middle of a preseason game and never looked back. Some guys are built different, right? The longer you can stay healthy and the longer you have the ability to play the game at the level that Aaron Rodgers was able to and the way that Tom Brady was able to. And like, yeah, Tom Brady won multiple Super Bowls and Aaron Rodgers only won one, but you can't quit the game as quickly and just walk away the way like Andrew Luck was able to, because he was riddled with injuries and just didn't feel like playing anymore. But you can't tell me that next year, if Aaron Rodgers is sitting in the ayahuasca hole somewhere and a groundhog gets to him with a message that says, hey, this team needs you, buddy, because Kyler Murray is playing for the Vikings and they're a playoff team, and in week 12 he gets hurt and Kevin O'Connell needs you, he's not going to play?
So this is Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Did he have doubts about coming back this season?
Yeah, there was some doubt for sure, but I had good conversations with Mike going back to when he was hired, and yeah, it's nice to come back. I mean, it felt different than last year because I knew some of the guys and some of the people that work here and stuff, so it felt good coming in.
Mike McCarthy also spoke to the media yesterday in Pittsburgh, and he talked about Rodgers returning to the Steelers.
Everybody was extremely excited when the decision became official. So I think that speaks for itself and speaks volumes of what he's established just in his short time here with his decision. There was a lot of conversation that went on, particularly the last 5 or 6 weeks, and but being here for OTAs is it's, in my view, is what I was looking for and what he was looking for, and we'll get the work done that we need to get done.
So there you go. Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Abdalla does not believe that Aaron Rodgers will actually retire. Rodgers was asked, is this your last season?
Aaron, do you believe this could be your last year? Do you even think of that right now?
Yes. This is it, yeah.
So there you go, Abdalla.
It's not that I don't.
This is it.
No, it's not
He
that
announced it.
It's not that I don't believe he's going to
Get
retire.
ready. Retirement tour.
It's not that I don't believe he's going to retire. It's
Love
that,
it.
It's
Here
that
we go.
It's that I don't believe that the NFL can quit Aaron Rodgers, and I don't believe that that Aaron Rodgers can quit the NFL and the drama and all of this. Like you hear it from players all the time. Like once you can say you can walk away, but when it's September and you're sitting at home and you're not sitting in, and it's not the field part that you miss. It's not the Sundays. It's hanging out with your teammates.
Oh.
It's hanging out with all your friends. That's what you miss.
And sometimes they joke it's about having to hang out and spend time with those at home, even if they're imaginary.
Yeah, well, listen.
You get home and your imaginary friend is there, and you're like, man, I'm spending too much time with my imaginary friend.
Or your computer.
Right? You probably want to get back to it. Is that what you think it is?
The chatbot?
You think that she's not real, his wife?
It's
You think it's an
the
AI
voice
generated?
of Scarlett Johansson in his ear?
Not talking about this.
Oh, easy, Jordan Hudson. I mean, watch out. I mean, it's not that situation. We've actually seen Jordan Hudson.
We
Not
have.
talking about
Yes,
this.
we have.
She's out there. We have yet to seen Rodgers' wife. There's no view of who that is. We've tracked other individuals this off season in their situations off the field, and yet has anyone figured out who his wife is? If she's actually real?
There was that weird. No one believed it. Did you see that picture going around like a week ago of everybody who believes the dumb stuff on Facebook and the internet thought that they had found her? And
No.
Oh yeah, you look it up. Look while I talk
What
about
do I
it. It
type?
was
Dumb stuff on Facebook?
just type up Aaron Rodgers' wife. Type up Aaron Rodgers' wife, and it's like the stereotypical of what everyone on Facebook would believe she would look like.
Brittany
like,
with an eye.
yeah, like she's got bad tattoos and dreads and like.
Oh,
yeah.
I did. It's totally fake. I did see that. You're right. You're right.
Like, that's obviously not.
It's like,
her.
did he meet her at a truck stop somewhere?
Like she clearly smells of patchouli all the time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not
Yeah.
talking about
Has
this.
10 hacky sacks and like.
No, maybe
Hello,
he's,
Bleck Abdalla. I am Aaron Rodgers' very real wife. Hello,
no.
Bleck
No,
Abdalla.
no.
I am Aaron Rodgers' very real wife.
No, not an
Hello,
AI
Bleck
situation.
Abdalla. I am Aaron Rodgers' very real wife.
No.
Raj, no.
No.
What if she just
I
says,
hope he could afford a better voice than that.
Yeah,
Hello, Bleck Abdalla. I am Aaron Rodgers' very real wife.
No, I mean, allegedly. He claims she's real. He says she's real.
Look,
I don't want him coming after us because we're making fun of him for it. If she's real, she's real.
I heard
no
the
one's
news,
ever seen her.
I heard the news yesterday, and I heard Jeff say that if you hear that Aaron Rodgers is still working, right, is still working out, right, and I keep going back to the fact that we saw Phillip Rivers play in 3 games last year.
Yeah,
You can't tell me that a team would have rather had Aaron Rodgers over Phillip Rivers for 3 games.
I guess my point is, are we just going to do this with every quarterback that may or may not retire then until the end of time just because Phillip Rivers came back?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Okay, then don't. Because there will be the ones that will just walk away and be fine with walking away and say, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna do what Tony Romo did and get in a booth, or do what Tom Brady did and get in a booth and do TV commercials and all that, and start some weird card shops and flag football leagues and stuff."
If Rodgers wanted to talk football, he could be very good on TV.
I don't think he's
already good on TV. It's just he needs to focus in on the football commentary. I think that's the key here for Rodgers.
I think he either keeps playing, or this is his last year, and then we never see Aaron Rodgers again.
Not talking about
I am
this.
real.
All right, so it's not Jordan. Yeah,
I am very
it's not
real.
Jordan.
I am not
No,
AI.
you're not.
I'm excited to watch my husband play sports.
No.
I'll tell that
No,
AI.
play
Tell that
sports.
AI it's
All
Abdalla.
right, so it's not Jordan Hudson. It's not the AI chatbot. It's not.
I had tassels on my pasties.
It's not the QVC caller that called in with
That would be
the
great.
tassels on her pasties.
I had tassels on my pasties.
It's not the.
I love Joel, and I hope he stays.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
just-
the whole team. They did amazing, but it's just heartbreaking. It really is.
It's not the girl crying after the 76ers were eliminated by the New York Knicks.
Joel, and I love Joel.
No,
and
stop.
I love Joel.
Just stop.
and
No. Who's crying over that team? What are we doing? But yes, we have yet to see Aaron Rodgers and his wife together. So there you go. Abdalla, that'll be your project over the summer.
Nope.
Camp out. Go find the intel on who his wife is.
Nope.
Bring it to the show.
Not gonna do it.
That could help us out.
Not talking about this.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
Her name is Claudette.
Claudette?
You talk good about sports.
She could just go to break.
It's Bleck Abdalla. We'll be right back.
Summer's here, and life is on the move. Graduations, vacations, and more. Wherever you're headed, you can count on us. For the daily sports news and analysis you need to hear, listen on the Westwood One Sports app. Wherever you are this summer, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
You can watch this show every day on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the Bleck and Abdalla YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show. You can also find the podcast on Apple and Spotify, noon to 3 Eastern each and every day. Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Yesterday you were off and Jeff Schwartz was filling in. And Jeff is fantastic on the NFL and all types of sports as well. But, you know, as a former NFL player for 8 years, when you hear him say something about a team in the NFL, it kind of perks up your ears and you say, okay, all right, there's some legit credentials behind this. Yesterday on the show, we were talking about, there was an NFL.com article of division winners from last season who should be nervous going into this upcoming season because they're unlikely to repeat and they are more likely to miss the playoffs this upcoming season. The number one team on the list, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I agree with. I think Pittsburgh should be one of those teams based on their division, based on the quarterback situation. So Pittsburgh's number 1.
Yeah.
Carolina was number 2 on the list.
Considering how both those teams won their divisions?
Yeah, number 2 on the list. So it makes a lot of sense. The number 3 team on the list was the Chicago Bears. And Jeff Schwartz suggested that the Bears should be number 1. Take a listen to what Jeff said yesterday here on the show.
I think Chicago will be better this season, but have a worse record. Better this season, but a worse record. Yep. The NFL has showed there are a couple things that hold true year over year, and the Bears are in 2 of these from last season. 1, turnovers. Turnovers, you're high. You have great turnover ratio 1 year. The next year, it stinks. And the Bears' defense last year thrived on forcing turnovers, right? The second thing they did last year, which is not going to happen again, is they won 6 regular season games. They were trailing with 2 minutes left. Yep. Six of them. They won 7. The 7th in the postseason. That's not going to happen again. So I think the Bears could be better defensively. Caleb Williams better this year, completes more passes. Like, they're better per se, but so are the Vikings. So are the Lions. So are the Packers. And the 50-50 games go not in their direction. They're 9-8.
So there you go. There's Jeff Schwartz. And I think that makes that's a valid point. And when you look at it, right, like a lot of what got the Bears to where they were last season, it was luck and it was turnovers from a defense that got gashed otherwise.
Yeah.
You look at the advanced metrics, the Chicago Bears defense was one of the worst in the NFL, except to counterbalance that, they got all kinds of turnovers. And we know when we talk to smart football people in the summer getting ready for the football season, the one thing that never translates from one year to the next is turnovers defensively.
Yeah.
You can't control it. It's a bit random. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Mm-hmm. And the thing that you would kind of look at would be, okay, are you getting those turnovers because you're causing chaos in the pocket and you're disrupting quarterbacks? And if that's the case, okay, maybe you can duplicate getting to quarterbacks and making them uncomfortable and creating those situations. The Bears didn't do that last year either.
Well,
and they didn't address it in the offseason, getting an edge rusher. So I think Jeff makes a good point there.
I kind of agree with Jeff. I do think that the Bears will be better. But remember, they won. They did go 0 for the Lions. They didn't beat the Lions at all. So the Lions can be better. They can still lose to the Lions both times like they did last season. And then, you can beat. I still think they'll be able to beat the Packers. I still think they'll be competitive with the Vikings. I do think, though, Dennis Allen is going to be, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat. What I'm saying is Dennis Allen might be under some heat this year because Ben Johnson has called him out a little bit in the media, saying that they need to coach that defense better. And because they didn't add anything on that defensive line, and he said we relied too much on scheme last year and not enough on coaching the players and coaching to our strengths and relying too much on Dennis Allen's scheme. Now, listen, you don't add anything to that defensive line and just hope that everybody stays healthy and you coach up those guys a little better, and that's going to make your defense better. I'm with you and with Jeff. I don't know if that defense is going to get that much better. I know you add guys to the secondary, you draft your secondary, you add Kobe Bryant to that secondary. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Certainly doesn't help you get to the quarterback because you didn't add anything on your defensive line. I do think the offense, as good as they were last year, another year, a full year, second year, under Ben Johnson's system, I think Caleb Williams can be a lot better. I think that the rest of the offense can be better. I think that it's weird to say that without DJ Moore, I think it opens up a lot more, addition by subtraction, kind of, without DJ Moore. And he's a good wide receiver, but that should open up a lot more things for Luther Burden. Hopefully, Rome Odunze can catch the football more and not drop it as much. But I do think the Bears can be a lot better with that offense, even though they were great. Listen, Caleb Williams didn't get to 4,000 yards. So how great were they?
Yeah,
they had to come back in a lot of those games.
There's room to improve. And also, I think they did get lucky in some of those situations at the end of last year. So that's one side of it. And if they're looking to coaching to kind of fix some of these issues, Robert Mays from The Athletic on the football podcast had this to say about Ben Johnson. Take a listen.
I can't believe how people are already talking about Ben Johnson. I can't tell you what wild people have said to me about him this spring. And this is people that have coached with him. This is people that have coached against him. This is people that have nothing to do with him. I had a coach that's worked with him say to me in Indy when we were sitting there, and he said this so matter-of-factly, it was like kind of jarring to me. And he goes, yeah, he's going to be one of the greatest coaches of all time.
What? After one season, Ben Johnson? All right, I'll take it. Listen, as a Bears fan, I'll take that. Well, that was Robert Mays from The Athletic on what he's hearing about Ben Johnson. So
tell me off.
So there it is.
Tell me off.
Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports
I mean, I have heard people say, and listening to various like NFL people talk, when they do talk about offensive schemes, they do say, when you're talking about offensive schemes like McVay and Shanahan and Ben Johnson, like they do start saying his name along with those other great names.
Oh, no doubt.
And I don't know if they're comparing.
The problem is those other names have won at a higher,
they've won
more
at a higher
consistent level.
Exactly. And look, hey, the Bears were a few throws away from making the NFC Championship game.
Settle down there.
Were they not?
But they lost.
They were a Caleb Williams interception away from making the NFC Championship game.
Ifs
were
and
they
buts.
not?
Ifs and buts.
Were they not?
Ifs and buts.
Were they not?
Go and win it.
Okay, I'm not saying that they did
But
didn't.
It is a very Chicago thing to say. Oh well, they almost won championship last year.
I just said that they're going to take a step.
on.
I just said that they're probably going to take a step back this year. If I had to say, if we were going through and picking winners, division winners and whatnot right now, I'm not picking the Bears to win the division this year.
It's going to be Detroit.
Yes.
Detroit's going to be the team that I think we both
most
think
likely
will win the division.
Most likely.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You were out yesterday and you noticed something interesting.
Yeah, so I was out yesterday. Shout out to Jeff Schwartz for sitting in for me. I was at a funeral yesterday. My uncle passed away.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So everybody's been to a funeral before. Everybody knows somebody that's died. Everybody's been to a funeral before. And when you leave the funeral and you go to the burial, everybody gets those little funeral things and you put them on your car, right?
Oh yeah. So it creates the procession.
Yeah. What's the one rule of a funeral procession?
You don't interrupt it. You let them go through.
There are no rules to a funeral procession. You don't have to obey any traffic rules. So
right. But like for people who are not a part of it, you let the procession go.
Exactly, right?
You let them proceed.
We are driving. I am in the procession. We are driving. It's the hearse. It's someone from the mosque, and it's like my dad and my other uncle. And then it is another car who we do not know. I don't know this car in front of me. And then it's me, and then it's a bunch of people behind me.
It was a rogue agent?
It's a rogue agent. And we're driving. There is a green light. I see the hearse go. I see the guy go. I see my dad and my uncle go. The light turns from green to yellow to red, and the car in front of me stops. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't do anything. The guy behind me gets out of his car, goes to the car in front of me, knocks on his window, and says, You don't have to stop.
Hello,
you
sir.
need to keep going. So the light turns green. He keeps going. The hearse is gone. My dad's car is gone. I can't find my dad. I don't know where any. I put the cemetery into my GPS, so I'm following this other car. We eventually catch up to. I see my dad's car. We eventually catch up to him. Then we get to another red light. He stops again. We eventually.
Wait, was he a part of the group?
We eventually get to the cemetery. It's like Fast and the Furious. Everybody has pulled up from a different direction because we lost the entire processional. We get out of the cars. No one knows who this guy is. No one knows who this man is. No one knows who this. Apparently, he had come to just help out with the burial. Meaning he should have known the proper etiquette.
No, he was just helping.
What is wrong with this man? Ridiculous.
You don't have to yell at us about it.
Oh, I was so mad at him.
We'll be back.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM, channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern, live from downtown Chicago. If you want to join the show, you can call or text us at 310-840-4910. The question today to text the show at 310-840-4910 are the Oklahoma City Thunder dirty? They win last night. The series is tied 1 game apiece in the Western Conference Finals. Great basketball. The Thunder go on a 11-0 run in the middle of the fourth quarter to kind of put away the game, and the Spurs were never able to get close. But with all of the positives of the play on the court, the conversation with the Thunder comes back to kind of the way they act, the plays, the cheap plays, the dirty plays, the pulling of a hair of Stephon Castle from Hartenstein. You get the foot stomp from Chet Holmgren in game 1. It just feels a little dirty. So we're asking you, let us know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe I'm viewing this in the wrong context. Maybe that's how you win basketball games in today's day and age. I don't know. To me, and this is meant to be a shot, especially to Nick Kostos, it feels very New York Knicks of the 90s.
Wow.
Feels very Knicks of the 90s. Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, John Starks. It feels very dirty the way these Thunder play.
It was a different league back then. You could do that.
Can you tell we're from Chicago? It feels very Knicks of the 90s.
Yeah, but who won those games?
The Chicago Bulls. That's right.
Just saying.
Talent always wins out. That's how you play that one.
But again, that's kind of the point of this is are the Spurs going to wait and see if the whistles even out? And I think then they respond?
Okay. I think in game 2, game 3, that's what will happen. It will shift towards San Antonio because the Spurs will be home. Usually the whistle's a little heavier on the road teams. Some fouls that maybe were not called last night get called in game 3. Maybe some ticky-tack things, and you can't necessarily enforce the physical will that the Thunder enforced last night. So I do think it will even out. I don't think it's going to be the story of the series. I just think it's kind of a shame that once again we're talking Thunder basketball, but there's also all these extra things that go into it. And it's like, dude, you can't explain pulling Stephon Castle's hair without it being a dirty play.
Yeah, and what if it doesn't?
You can't pull a dude's hair and not be dirty.
But what if it doesn't even out?
Oh, I mean, then this will continue to be a story.
Is this a situation where, in the NFL, you can send plays to the league office and say, hey.
Oh, I'm sure the Spurs are doing that.
Our quarterback got hit late.
Yeah.
And
you
missed it.
You can do it.
And say you didn't call this. Have the Spurs sent plays to the NBA today and say, hey, look, foot stomps. Hey, hair pulls. Hey, what are you going to do to correct this?
I'm not even bringing up the flopping. No. That's not even what this is about. What it's about is in game 1, Chet Holmgren deliberately pulled off a foot stomp like he's Hulk Hogan in the ring, marching around like a Hulkamaniac.
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude? You're lining up for a free throw. Why did you give me the big boot?
Yeah.
The old big boot stomp. What is this? You know what I mean? How lame is that? And then last night, Hartenstein getting his hand wrapped in Castle's hair and then the extra pull. What are you doing, dude?
That is why you put out Kelly Olynyk and you respond with some sweet chin music.
I mean, who do you have there? You got Olynyk, you got Bismack Biyombo, you got some bigs.
That is why you go full WWE. You need the Road Dogg Jesse James. You need the badass Billy Gunn.
I would send the Coyote, the Spurs Coyote.
The Spurs Coyote.
From the rafters.
He's Sting. He's got the face paint.
Yes.
And he just lowers himself.
Exactly.
He's got the bat. Just takes out one of the Thunder.
That's what I'm thinking. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sport. I mean, what did the Spurs used to do in the past when there would be bats in the arena? They'd send Manu out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Ginobili.
Yeah.
Ginobili would go take care of the bats.
Because Ginobili didn't care.
Yeah. He's send Ginobili out there. Why not?
I never understood why Ginobili was the only one
that wasn't a bad guy.
That wasn't afraid of the bat.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
He's got the pillowcase. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Let's update, I think, probably the quarterback story we will pay attention to the most here in this offseason as we head towards training camp.
I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Hold on.
But here we go. Todd Monken time.
I think it's the coaching story because I think that Todd Monken is slowly becoming our favorite head coach in the NFL.
I think so as well. You know, he was trying to get that sweet haircut during the photo op with all the coaches, and he missed it.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Yesterday, OTAs taking place for the Cleveland Browns, and Todd Monken spoke to the media, and we are now getting charting play-by-play on how the quarterbacks are performing in OTAs for the Cleveland Browns. You ready for this? Do you want the chart? I have the chart here. This is from ESPN Cleveland. They have quarterback tracker, right? Practice session number 1 of OTAs. This is what we have. Deshaun Watson went 13 of 21. He threw for 1 touchdown. Mind you, they're playing 7-on-7, and they have 11-on-11 drills. But essentially, there is no quarterback rush.
Yeah.
Right? Like in any of these situations. It's OTAs. What are we doing? We're charting plays in OTAs?
Yeah. Have to.
Watson, 13 for 21 and a touchdown. Shedeur Sanders, 7 for 11. No touchdowns, 1 interception. Dylan Gabriel went 1 for 4, no touchdowns, 1 interception.
What are we doing?
So there you go. There's the quarterback tracker in OTAs for the Cleveland Browns as we sit here and we look at this competition.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Thank you. It's from Todd Monken as this is what we have. Okay. So that's out there. That's how things took place yesterday. Here's Todd Monken talking about quarterbacks throwing interceptions in 7-on-7 drills yesterday.
We threw interceptions in 7-on-7, for God's sakes. I mean, who does that? There's no pass rush. I mean, it's embarrassing.
Yes. That's my guy. All right.
Oh, that's great.
All right. I'm all in on Todd Monken now. That's great.
Laura, can you play that one more time on the 7-on-7 drills?
We threw interceptions in 7-on-7, for God's sakes. I mean, who does that? There's no pass rush. I mean, it's embarrassing.
That's awesome.
It's embarrassing.
That is an old school football guy who is in, I don't know if he's in over his head or does not know what he signed up for.
It's embarrassing, and he's mentioning the 2 interceptions thrown.
Mm-hmm.
They're thrown by the 2 quarterbacks who were rookies last year.
Interesting.
Gabriel and Sanders. It's embarrassing.
Interesting.
Okay, so Todd Monken also went on to talk about Shedeur Sanders, his improvement to this point in OTAs.
And I think Shedeur's come miles in terms of his progressions, getting the ball out, his understanding of concepts. I think he's really, really come a long way.
So there you go. There's Todd Monken on Sanders. He's come a long way with the concepts. He also talked glowingly about the athletic abilities of Deshaun Watson as well. So, you know, you listen to Todd Monken. First of all, it's funny as hell that he's annoyed with interceptions on 7-on-7 drills. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That he's out there. He's also talking up all of the quarterbacks, right? Like that's what a head coach is going to do. Now, we mentioned Nick Kostos at the start of this segment. Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network, he was on You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos yesterday, talking about the chances that Deshaun Watson is the starter this upcoming season.
What do you think the percent chance is Deshaun Watson is the week 1 starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in like 30 to 45 seconds? Right?
101. Yeah, I've
no matter
felt that
what happens, as long as he's healthy, he's going to start.
I mean, if he looks horrendous in camp and preseason, right, which I don't think he will, but no, I've said, I think I phrased it back in March that he's in the pole position. Everything I heard out of the combine, Senior Bowl week, I remember talking to a guy and they were like, Deshaun Watson's going to start for this team. You guys know that, right? But there'll be a competition for it to play out. But I think in the end, Deshaun Watson, I know Deshaun Watson's going to start for this team.
So there you go. That's from Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network on Westwood One Sports yesterday with Nick Kostos. Just look at the breakdown of the chances to throw yesterday in OTAs. Again, it's 7-on-7 drills, it's OTAs, but Deshaun Watson had 21 pass attempts, and Shedeur Sanders had 11. Half.
Yeah.
Like right there. Like, I get what Garofalo is saying and what we've heard. And Jeff Schwartz mentioned it to us previously here on the show, saying, when you pay a guy like Watson,
just look at the money.
He's the starter.
Yeah.
Unless something happens in the season. And then you go and the point that he made to us is that there's not enough reps in these practices and in training camp to have a real competition. So you're going to give the majority to one guy, and then the guy who's second will get about half, and then so on and so forth. I mean, Dylan Gabriel yesterday had 4 attempts. Dylan Gabriel. He was drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders last year, and he's third on the depth chart. He got 4 attempts yesterday. One of those, he threw a pick. Shedeur Sanders got 11. One of those was a pick. Sean Watson got 21. He's the only one of the group that threw a touchdown yesterday.
Well, this goes for any of the competitions, and I'm using air quotes, that we're seeing around this season. Like for Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy, for Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix. There is a finite number of reps. The NFL only allows you a certain amount of OTAs and preseason practices and training camp practices. How are you going to divvy this up so you know who you're going to go with? Look, the Browns aren't winning the division. The Browns aren't making the playoffs. We know that. If you had to give Todd Monken the truth serum after his haircut,
I don't know, man.
He'll probably tell you.
Get a sweet haircut.
He's an old school football guy. Maybe he thinks he can coach some ball and they can win some games.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
But I'll tell you this. The Vikings have a chance. The Falcons might have a chance. So how are you going to divide those reps up? You know, I know, everybody else knows Kyler Murray is the better quarterback. He's going to get those reps. So you can say it's a competition until you start seeing the rep numbers, like you said, start to go
one way or
more towards Kyler Murray's way and less being more of a 50-50 split.
And that's what will be interesting of following the Vikings camp this summer, is seeing what are the reps. Because that's the tell. That's how we'll know. Very few teams are able to give equal opportunity to both. Because, right, there are not 2 number 1 offenses throughout camp.
No.
So there's a number 1 offense, and then there's a number 2 offense. Mm-hmm. So, you will immediately know because you're not going to roll both quarterbacks out there with the number 1 offense.
And having, Kyler's getting today with the ones, and JJ's going to get tomorrow with the ones, that's doing a disservice to your football team.
To the offense, yeah.
Because then that means if Kyler wins the job, that's a day he didn't learn with the ones, and that puts your offense behind. And look, if you go back to the cut where Monken is talking up Shedeur Sanders, that to me says, look, Todd Monken's an old school guy. If Deshaun Watson is going to start, and week 5, week 6, he looks as bad as he has in the past couple of years, he's been healthy and gone out there and starts, Monken's going to pull him. And Shedeur Sanders will get his chance. And he will get a chance to go out there and prove that he's worthy of being an NFL starter. And if he's taking these leaps that Todd Monken says he is, and he's learning and he's developing, then by all means, go out there and be an NFL starter. As long as Deshaun Watson can prove that he's not worthy of being. But look at the contracts. He's going to get one more year this year to prove that he's worthy of being a starter just based on what they're paying him this year. Because after this year, he's not going to be a Brown anymore. They're going to get rid of him because they're not tied to his contract anymore. And then it's whoever's job it is. It might not be anybody's job after this year. They might be drafting somebody depending on where they end up in the draft. And Shedeur might be a backup still.
Well, I mean, they just drafted a quarterback here in this year's draft.
Yeah, but listen.
What do you mean, yeah, but? That's what they did. Taylon Green.
Okay.
4th string quarterback. He was just selected from Arkansas.
And that's going to stop them from draft. Okay, so if the Browns end up with the number 1.
That's your project.
So if the Browns end up with the
6th round quarterback, project guy.
So if the Browns end up with the 2nd overall pick in the draft, they're going to be like, nah, we don't want Dante Moore.
No, I mean,
we're good. No, we're good.
You got to fix the quarterback position, no doubt. So you're not going to not do it just because you have a project kid that you select in the 6th round on your roster. But having, the fact that you going 3 straight years selecting quarterbacks, and in one of those years selecting 2 quarterbacks and none of them being able to play is how you drive your team directly into the ditch.
The Browns, they live in the ditch.
I know.
What are you talking about?
I know.
They were born in the ditch.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't see a way of how you're ever successful if that's the way you're approaching building your team.
I think that Monken might have taken this job and seeing what this roster is, looking at what he has on defense. Obviously, they're a playoff-ready defense.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
And looking at what they have on offense, going through this year and saying, I'll see what I have. And if any of these guys prove worthy, then that's a bonus. And if not, there are 5 to 6 guys coming out next year in the draft that we can pick from. And if that's the case, then so be it. Because Monken doesn't have a tie to any of these guys. He was not here when any of them were drafted, except for the 6th round guy, Talon Green from Arkansas.
Yep.
In the 6th round, which in next year's draft,
it's a project.
He would have been a USF player or USL or whatever league it is, a Canadian player.
It's this year's draft. That's why it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We got news yesterday that Aaron Rodgers will retire after this season. How many games will he actually play in this upcoming season? Over Under with Raj is coming up next.
Aaron Rodgers says this season is his last.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Will Rodgers go out like John Elway and Peyton Manning did with a Lombardi trophy in his hands? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
We broadcast each and every day live from Chicago. It's Bleck and Abdalla hanging out with you here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Raj Sharon produces the show live from Colorado. Parts unknown.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One.
And he now joins us now for Over Under on a Thursday. How about that, Raj?
Comes from the line of Raj Sharan.
I love the pronunciation. It's so much cooler than a girl's first name.
Please
That's how
proceed.
I've described it my whole life. I love it.
Please proceed.
All right,
Raj, what's
fellas.
up?
You ready to play a little over under? Abdalla, welcome
Let's do it.
back. We're going to start off with you, and we're going to start off with Aaron Rodgers. Well, the meme is pretty funny of him running onto the field with the Jets, with the flag, which is kind of like symbolic that something's going to end before it starts. In reality, other than that year, he's been pretty healthy, and he plays a lot. If you look back at his history, 16 games, 17 games, including last year, he played 16 games. So in this, what he is saying is going to be his final season. I ask, Aaron Rodgers will start over or under 15 and a half games this season for the man with bangers, Mike McCarthy.
I'm going to go over just because of the history that you mentioned. It has been a long time. I mean, besides that Jets year that you mentioned, he has only played in less than 15 games or less than 16 games. 1, 2 other times that weren't seasons where they took the last game off because they had already clinched something. So I'm going to say over just because he tends to be a healthy quarterback unless it's like a catastrophic injury. So I'm going to say over because Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. He likes to play. So unless they like, they're not going to clinch something with 2 games left in the season, they're going to sit him for 2 games. He's going to play. So unless the age catches up to him and he tears an ACL or something.
To go and it's Drew Aller time or whoever. We're going to see who we got.
No, I think he's going to, unless it's a catastrophic injury, he's playing in all of the games, if not maybe just sits for one of them if they've clinched something. But I doubt that takes place.
Raj, I'm going to go over the 15.5 because Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hit anymore. He protects himself, and it's a detriment to the offense that he's running. He is afraid to get hit, which I don't blame him. He's 42. I'm about to turn 41.
Yeah, you want to go get hit? We're all around that age. We want to go get hit?
Yeah, like I get it. He wants to protect himself. It's a detriment to his skill in playing football because he doesn't push the football down the field anymore, because he doesn't stand in the pocket anymore and allow himself to get hit. And because of that, he's durable. He may not be as successful, but he's going to be out there. So I'm going to go over the 15.5 games.
I think the hardest hit he took last year was from his teammate when he tackled him, celebrating, and then Rodgers got up mad and pushed him. I don't take hits. All right, let's go over to the NBA. We've never written one this way, but I figured it was worth doing. Okay, so we're not actually going to do a number. We're going to force you to make an assumption in a number. All right, Bleck. James Harden will allow over or under as many points as he scores tonight. So you got to predict how many points he's going to score, and then that's your number to go over or under of how many points he's going to allow whoever he is defending.
Okay, while I think of this, Abdalla, go to DraftKings and look up his player prop. I want you cheat and you play off of the player prop. I'm going to just I can't say that. I'm gonna do this without assistance. Well, I was gonna say something else, and both options that came to my mind are both things I probably shouldn't say on the radio. But I'm just gonna go free basketballs on this one. Okay. Let me say Harden will score 24 points, and he will give up 30. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say
he's net -6 then.
Yeah. I'm going to say that's it. He's going to be under the amount of points that he gives up tonight. I think he scores 24. I think Jalen Brunson and the Knicks offense, I think they put up 30 with him defending them specifically. He was atrocious in pick and roll situations. The Knicks know. All they have to do is incorporate whoever Harden is guarding into the screen. And Harden is so bad at hedging out on Brunson and or getting back to his defender that it is just essentially an open basket every single time. I think I saw somewhere, and I don't have to bog down the conversation with like the super nerdy notes.
Please don't.
But I think I saw somewhere that Harden's recovery in pick and roll screen situations in game one was the worst player tracking has covered the entire season in those situations. So like your eyes were not deceiving you in what you were seeing in the fourth quarter, where like his inability to move, his body is the problem.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say he scores 24, but he gives up 30.
Okay, well, his over-under tonight is 18.5.
Oh, wow. I gave him more credit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also going to go over points given up than 18.5. So he can score 20-something, and he's going to give up more than that. Like, let's say he scores 21, he's going to give up 25 or 26. So, yeah, I agree with Chris. I don't have all those nerd numbers that Chris gave, but I know that James Harden is bad on defense, and the Knicks know that. And so they're going to expose that. And that's how they're going to win tonight's game and go up 2-0 in the series.
All right, guys, next up, yesterday, Raiders' new coach, Clint Kubiak, was gushing over his new quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. This is what he had to say.
As advertised, he is not disappointed. He's working his tail off. It's very important to him. Asks a lot of great questions. When he gets on the field, he's no BS. He's all ball.
All right, so I feel like this is a pretty fair number for a guy who's the #1 overall pick, a presumed franchise quarterback, but he's also in a division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and Bo Nix. Fernando Mendoza will win over or under 2.5 AFC West division titles in his entire career. Abdalla.
Okay, hold on. Let me look up something real quick. Okay,
so talk amongst ourselves here.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, so
what? You all right?
So Patrick Mahomes is 30 years old.
Okay.
Herbert is 28 years old.
Yes.
Do you know how old Bo Nix is?
Yeah, he's like 27.
He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to do the math.
Don't you remember he was in college forever?
I know, he's in
he
college.
Had a full college career at Auburn, and then he transferred to Oregon.
He's got a
PhD.
He's Dr. Nix at this point. He's got a PhD.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to do the math of like how long that Mahomes would have to be in the league for maybe Mendoza.
We're talking about rookie quarterbacks, so you have to kind of project this out at least 15 to 20 years.
Exactly. So that's what I was trying to do to see how long will Mahomes still be in the league at a competitive level for Mendoza, and then also Herbert still be in the league, and Bo Nix. I'm giving you some credit here, Raj, to see if Bo Nix sticks around in the league and maybe it becomes a Bo Nix Mendoza like in that division. I am gonna say, you said it at 2.5. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say under because I still believe that between the 3 other teams in that division, there will be better quarterbacks, and the 3 teams will still be better than the Raiders. For them to win the division 3 times, I mean, when was the last time they've won the division over the last 15 years that many times? So I'm going to go under for Fernando Mendoza's winning the division 2.5 times. I'm going to go under.
And I can't answer you because I'm doing my own internet
You're doing
research.
your own. I got to keep talking about ourselves.
No, I've got it.
In case you're wondering, guys, the last time the Raiders won the division was 2002. That was the last time they've won the AFC West. So it's been.
Here's the way that I'm
years?
mentally viewing your question, Raj. I think Fernando Mendoza will have a career much like the player that they brought in to start this season, who is his other quarterback mate.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins. So if that's the case, and the loose internet research I was doing while Abdalla was talking there, is you then ask yourself, how many times has Kirk Cousins won a division? He was in the NFC East. He was also in the NFC North. He was in the NFC South. How many times has Kirk Cousins won a division? And I believe, based on my loose internet research, that he has only won the division twice in his 14 years in the NFL. It was in 2015 with the Washington franchise. They went 9-7, and I believe they won the division that year. And then with Minnesota in 2022, the Vikings went 13-4, and they won the division.
Okay.
With that said, I'm going under because I don't see, like, even if Mendoza plays for 20 seasons, Raj, I think obviously the longevity of Patrick Mahomes will get in the way. Justin Herbert will get in the way. And I'm not suggesting that Bo Nix can't have a long extended career as well that goes 15 years into the future with the Broncos being decent. So one, you're a part of the Raiders franchise that has not had success in a long time. And then two, the quarterback that I think he's comparable to is Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins, through 14 seasons, which is pretty damn close to the 15 years that we're kind of guessing out for Mendoza, he's only won a division twice. So I'm going to say under based on that. I just don't see him being much better than Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine a number one overall pick, like, 15, 20 years, presumably, with the franchise? Because, by the way, I asked, 2.5 division titles, like you pointed out with Kirk Cousins. If that's the comp, he didn't hit that number either. And part of it is the division's tough. All right, let's go back to the NBA, guys. I split the difference between Wemby's points in Game 1 and in Game 2. As the series shifts back to San Antonio, and they get ready to face another game against the Wemby Stopper, as I've now seen Oklahoma City fans call him online, Hartenstein, the Wemby Stopper. Wemby will score over or under 31.5 points in tomorrow's Game 3, Black.
I'm going to say under. The Spurs are at their best when Wemby does not have to lead them in scoring. So he can have a great game. He can make all the defensive plays and affect shots from the Oklahoma City offense. But I don't think that he needs to be their leading scorer to win games in this series. So I'm going to say under the 31.5 points.
His total on DraftKings is 25.5. I'm also going to go under. Darren Fox has a point total. Do they know something we don't?
Oh, does he? Here, I can check. You talk. I'll look up the injury report.
Interesting. As does Dylan Harper, but they could could always have those guys up there and just remove them once an official interesting.
So it's not interesting.
Injury report is up there. I don't know.
You bring this up and maybe it's not interesting.
It could be something. It could be nothing. Could be
let's
something.
see.
Could be nothing, Chris. Could be something. Could be nothing. I'm also going to go under the 31. I think he's close. He's close to this number. I think he's probably around 24, 25, somewhere in that range. I agree with Chris.
You want the latest from the NBA official injury report?
Please.
As of 1:30 Eastern time, the official injury report for Game 3 between the Thunder and the Spurs from either team has not yet been submitted.
Oh, okay, cool. So no news.
It's back to you.
No news.
Back to you.
No news. Back to you, Raj.
All right, guys. Next up in Cleveland, over under half an inch off Todd Monken's next haircut. I'm joking. All right, let's go to quarterbacks. Over or under 1.5 Cleveland quarterbacks will win a game this season as the starting quarterback.
Ooh.
Not start, but win. Over under 1.5 quarterbacks will win a game as the Cleveland Browns starter when they're not playing 7-on-7, but it's actually full-on 11-on-11 football. Abdalla.
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Okay, so let's see. How long does Deshaun Watson start? I'm looking at their schedule. Their win total is 6.5. I think that if Shedeur Sanders, let's say Shedeur comes in at their bye week. That means after their bye week, they've got Vegas, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Giants, on the road against the Giants, on the road against the Ravens.
You can give us win-loss of the
Colts.
Brown season coming up?
I am. And then they end the road in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Can Shedeur Sanders win one of those games? I'll give him one win. So yes, I'm going to say over.
And you're giving Deshaun a win.
I'll give Deshaun a win. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make this easy for you, Raj. I'm going to go over because I think the quarterback situation for the Browns is a mess. I don't think anything that we see here in training camp or the summer will solve anything. They're going to be bad. They will start multiple quarterbacks this upcoming season, and they will luck and find their way into a couple of wins with different quarterbacks. That's just the Cleveland Brown way. So that's my answer. Over.
And finally, Bleck, Rashee Rice will over under 29.5 days served. I'm kidding. But he is in jail right now, missing out on rehab from a surgery he just had a week ago when he didn't know he'd be in jail. Over under 799.5 yards receiving for Patrick Mahomes' presumed number one receiver, Bleck.
I'm going to say under. I don't know how this works, and I get that this is the situation that Rice did not know. Well, he was not expecting to be thrown into jail and to serve the days, and he got the surgery done recently, and then now it's time to rehab, but he's in jail.
So wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. So let me get this timeline. Rashee Rice has the surgery.
Yes.
And then he has to go to jail.
Well, but he violated his parole. So
yes.
that right, Raj? That's why
he violated the parole.
Now serving. Now he's serving his
So he got
violation.
busted for smoking weed, which triggered the parole violation, which means he has to go to jail right after
the surgery. So he can't rehab it. I'm going to go under.
He had the surgery not knowing he was going to be going to jail.
He thought he was going to be able to rehab. He did not think he was going to be in jail.
Conspiracy theory.
He's in jail right now, unable to rehab.
Theory.
I'm going under the 799.5 yards.
Conspiracy theory.
Under. You can't. Wait, what's he doing? Lunges in the cell?
Conspiracy theory.
Wait, how's he going to rehab that while being in jail?
He conspiracy theory. He got the surgery and went to jail so he could put his feet up for 30 days and heal the injury. Heal from the surgery. Feet up.
So he didn't have to do the rehab.
Feet up over.
That sounds like something Brandon Ayuk would do, the way you're outlining that, Abdalla.
Feet
that
up,
does it
smoking the
for
weed.
today,
Test
guys.
me. Test me. I just had the surgery. The doctor said I need to keep my feet up for 30 days. What can I do for 30 days and get rid of this jail time quickly that I need to serve that needs to be coming at a certain point anyway? Sparks up a joint and then goes to jail. Interesting. Tinfoil hat removed. Back to you, Raj.
That does it for Over Under today, fellas.
Thank you, Raj. We appreciate you. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Bleck Abdalla, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. How about this for Lane Kiffin?
Yeah.
He's bringing back Coach O. Ed Orgeron back in the mix. Will this lead the Tigers to the promised land in Baton Rouge? We talk about LSU football coming up next.
Remember Deshaun Watson? He's been on IR the last 19 months. And now, the frontrunner to be the Browns starter. But Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel are coming for the job. As always, the quarterback carousel in Cleveland is one to watch. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
You can always watch the show on YouTube. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The live stream is up. Bleck and Abdalla's show. Check it out. How about this, Abdalla? We are huge college football fans. We love college football. We are 100 days away from the start of the college football season. How about that?
Love it.
100 days.
Love it.
They'll fly by. Summer's here.
Love it. Which means we're even closer to the start of the NFL schedule. If we're like 100 days from the start of the college football, we're like 100 and like
farther
4
away.
days. Yeah, like 105 days away from the NFL.
Well, it's a week because week 0.
Well, yeah, week
with college
0.
Football.
Week 0, which soon, but the NFL will start even sooner because they're going to want to monopolize that, and they'll just start changing it. And each year will be sooner, and then eventually the NFL schedule will just eat the entire year, and there'll just be a game on every day of the year. There'll be 365 days of NFL games, and then we'll never have an NFL offseason if they get their way.
Well, this is America. That's the way it should be.
That's the way it will be.
We should have football every single day.
We'll be previewing an NFL game
That's what it is.
every day.
So Lane Kiffin is at LSU now, and he is bringing on Ed Orgeron to his coaching staff. Coach O will be a special assistant to recruiting and a special assistant to the defense. He is long known as one of the best recruiters in all of college football. Coach O obviously won a national title at LSU previously in 2019. He's coached before with Lane Kiffin back at USC in 2013. Coach O now back at LSU.
I think it's a great hire for LSU and for Lane Kiffin because, one, like you said, at every stop that Ed Orgeron has been, like if you think that it's just LSU, you being a huge USC fan, you know that when Orgeron was at USC, despite being out at the West Coast, he was still a great recruiter to a school like USC. As gravelly and as bayou based,
he's rough around the edges.
No, I'm not
rough
saying
around the edges.
I'm not saying it as a bad thing. Listen,
Stop the drill. I'm having a press conference. Thank you.
I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm not saying it as a bad thing. He still was one of the top recruiters for USC. And so imagine what he's going to do being back at LSU. They love him. They didn't want him to leave LSU. They didn't want him to get fired at LSU.
He doesn't necessarily. He won in 2019.
I understand
but he wasn't winning at the highest level consistently.
I understand that.
And there is there's a little of the because he is such a football guy.
I know.
Rough around the edges.
I know.
It's not quite what a school wants as your face of your program.
I'm talking about the fans. I'm not talking about the school and the people that run the school and the AD and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the people, the 100,000 plus that go to the games every single weekend, the people that tailgate, the people that do all that kind of stuff. They love Coach O. The fans love Coach O. The people that go to the school love Coach O. That's why this is such a big deal. And as far as recruiting goes and going, and now you get to take that bag of money with you and you get to write the checks legally and you get to do all that. And Coach O can take those with him and recruit at the highest level.
I mean, he's a ball coach. That's what Coach O is.
Yeah.
And he's a great character for college football as well.
He is.
Stop the ball. Stop the drill. I'm having a press conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I love it.
And the gravelly voice and the whole
Go
thing.
Tigers.
Go Tigers. It's great. So there you go. Lane Kiffin getting the band back together at LSU. Two dudes together.
He was just running down the street with his shirt off probably. And Lane Kiffin was just like, hey, you want a job? We're still paying you. Because that's been part of the deal. Coach O and LSU's still been paying Coach O this entire time as part of his buyout from his contract from when he was let go by the school. And now they just keep paying him. Congratulations, Coach O.
Call me skeptical, but I don't think it's necessarily going to work out for Lane Kiffin at LSU.
Well,
he's the type of guy that needs to be in a smaller spotlight. It has not worked out in the past when he is in the big spot. At Tennessee, Rocky Top, USC, the Raiders. when he's in the biggest spot, it hasn't necessarily worked out. So we'll see. LSU certainly has more money and resources than Ole Miss does, and he'll have an opportunity. I'm not sold that it's necessarily going to work out. He should have stayed at Ole Miss.
I think that working out at LSU and working out at Ole Miss are two completely different grades here.
You're not
two
winning
completely
championships at
levels.
LSU. It's not working out.
Exactly. And I don't know if Lane Kiffin is ever going to win a championship at LSU, but working out at Ole Miss is making the college football playoff and winning a game. When you expand to 24 teams, winning a game or two in the college football playoff and maybe making it to a championship game or making it to a Final Four at Ole Miss, that's great. They build you a statue at Ole Miss for that.
Okay, tell me when was the last time you heard this? This next story is coming to us from Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest. Okay, there's something called the Paris syndrome. Have you ever traveled to your destination of your dreams and then you get there and you're disappointed? Apparently, first-time tourists travel to Paris are so disappointed they're getting sick. When visiting Paris for the first time, it fails to live up to someone's high expectations. They then come up with something called the Paris syndrome, a real psychological condition. Paris syndrome can cause symptoms such as vomiting, nausea, or increased heart rate and dizziness. Paris syndrome because the city does not live up to the expectation.
Well, why don't you tell me, Monsieur Bleck?
Reader's Digest.
As one who has been to the French Riviera many a time, why don't you tell me, Monsieur Bleck?
Well, the French Riviera and Paris are nowhere near each other.
You are basically
Harry.
half baguette at this point.
You know, I'll say that I have been to Paris.
Yeah, many a time.
I'm surprised that this is a thing because I thought the exact opposite. I think Paris was undersold. I that's just my opinion. I think I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I understand now why people hype it up before you go.
It is your sister city at this point.
It'd be cool if it was, but it's not. I mean, I've been there once. But I guess my point is the fact that people were disappointed, I'm surprised because I feel like people don't build it up enough, even though it is a hyped city around the world.
I think that people do that with certain... I feel like Italy is like that. I feel like people build up going to certain places in Italy, like, you got to go to Italy. You got to go to Italy. And then when you get there, I've never been to Italy, but I feel like everybody that's been says it's the greatest place on earth that I will be. If I go and it doesn't live up, I'm going to be disappointed. I might throw up.
Listen, the Amalfi Coast is pretty. It lives up to it.
It better be or else I'm going to throw up.
But the other cities are cities, right?
I'm going to throw up.
You've been to a city.
I'm going to...
So the Paris syndrome. People are disappointed with the city, and so they are vomiting and they're dizzy because of their expectations falling short of what it should be.
Go Tigers.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM, channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern, and then Jim Rome will take over right here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. We've been asking people on the text line at 310-840-4910 today, do you think the Oklahoma City Thunder, that they're a dirty team? Because last night they win Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, 122-113. The series is now tied 1 game apiece. It's also a series that I think has captured a lot of people's attention, sports fans and other casual fans, because they want to check out Wembanyama, this freak of an athlete who can do things that we've never seen before in someone with that size. And then also the Thunder are a team that just won a championship. So they're somewhat notable, right, to the casual sports fan. They have an MVP back-to-back years with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And last night in the game, fourth quarter, they go on an 11-0 run at about the 9-minute mark to the 7-minute mark, middle of the fourth quarter. They come up with that lead, and every single time the Spurs kind of tried to chip away at that lead, the Thunder would get force a turnover defensively and a big three-point shot on the other end, and that crowd was rocking last night in Oklahoma City. And the Thunder show up, they bounce back, they get a game. 1-1, game 3 will be on Friday night in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's more what I thought the Thunder would look like in game 2 as opposed to what they looked like in game 1. You know, the flopping and everything like that included. Some of the physicality from Hartenstein and all that, you don't need that in the game, especially the hair pulling of Castle and all that. But the way that SGA played, you know, having a 30-point night, and just the way that they kind of asserted their dominance and the way that they played, like you mentioned, in the middle of that fourth quarter and kind of pulled away late in that game.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I expected game 1 to go. I don't know if it was rest and rust in game 1 or they just made their adjustments because that's just how good of a team that they are. What I don't necessarily think that this Thunder team, does so much unnecessary stuff that they don't need to do. They're a good team. They're a great team. They're the NBA champions until someone beats them. They're the NBA champions last year. They're more than likely going to be the NBA champions this year because of the way that they play, because of games like last night. And last night, once again, the flopping, SGA being on the floor a bunch, and then the overwhelming physical play against Victor Wembanyama and the way that they are affecting his game and the way that Hartenstein was playing and having to resort to pulling Stephon Castle's hair. And eventually, I don't know if it changes when they get to San Antonio and the refs start calling the game a little bit differently, but it got to the point where it's like, guys, what are you doing? You saw it in game 1. There's videos of Holmgren stepping on Wembanyama's foot and stomping on it. And like, this is stuff that they don't need to do to be a good team. Like, you don't need to resort to those tactics to be a good team. They are an immensely deep and immensely talented basketball team. Jalen Williams left the game with another hamstring injury, and they still won the game going away yesterday. And I know that the Spurs, Harper left the game. They were already without Fox, and so they were injured as well. But still, the Thunder are dealing with injuries themselves, and they were still able to win the game. And it's not an excuse. Both teams are dealing with injuries, but this is why they're such a good team.
Yeah, they are. And I think pointing out that the Spurs without two guards last night in Fox and Harper leaves the game after playing, 25 minutes. It's obviously a big blow to the San Antonio Spurs, but equally, Jalen Williams not being there for the Thunder is a huge deal. He's their second best player. He's their second best scorer. He is someone who can get a bucket at every time. So I give credit to the Thunder for the ability to show up last night shorthanded and to win a game at home. Chet Holmgren had 13 points. I think they still need more from Holmgren if they're going to win this series. And you mentioned the dirty plays, and I think that's where the question to the text line comes up at 310-840-4910. I feel watching this team as if they are a dirty team. They also complain a lot to the officials. They also flop all over the floor. Last night, specifically, in 7 different situations, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander attempted a shot and fell to the floor. Sometimes there was contact. Sometimes there was no contact. He was falling to the floor. I don't get it. I've watched basketball my entire life. My entire life. It is an option to stay on your feet when you take a shot. That is something that you can do. I've seen players do it in the past. Notable players. Almost all of them actively would stay on their feet after shots.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Gilgeous-Alexander feels the need to be slip sliding all over on the floor. Throw some knee pads on, buddy. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand why you're taking a 3-point shot and then flailing to the ground. Stand. We ripped James Harden for this crap, so I'm going to rip Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Stand on your feet. If someone knocks you over, that's going to be a foul. You don't have to sell that. You are not a European soccer player. And if that's the case, the NBA should go to a card system One flop, that's a fake flop, you get a yellow. Second one, you're out. And the team has to play with 4. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ejected from the game. Woo! 2 flops. Now they have to go 4-on-5 the rest of the night.
That would be
you think that
something.
You think players would stay on their feet then?
Yeah, absolutely they would.
Because it wasn't just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Who was the guy who was he was running off of a screen and Harrison Barnes walked by him and he flailed like he got shot in the chest onto the ground. Mm-hmm. And in the replay,
Isaiah Joe.
It was Isaiah Joe, right? Mm-hmm. Number 11. Look, what in the hell is that? So here's the context, right? Series 1-1. We're all paying attention to the series. It's great basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball at the highest level. It's fantastic to watch. We have a defending champion who last night bounced back. They win 122-113. But when I watch the Thunder play, we cannot talk about them playing without the flopping and then also the dirty plays. Hartenstein with the pulling of the hair from Stephon Castle. And then also in game 1, Chet Holmgren with the boot trying to do the leg stomp on Wembanyama when they're getting ready for the rebound off of her free throw. It's a set play. It wasn't like we saw the video incorrectly. It wasn't like someone ran into their legs and they accidentally stepped on it. Chet Holmgren looked down, looked up, looked down at Wemby's foot, and then took his left leg and stomped it on top of Wembanyama's foot. How else do you view that outside of dirty? It's dirty play. And that's why I don't like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because of stuff like that. It's crap. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, it is. And I listen, if the officiating doesn't change when they go to San Antonio tomorrow night, first of all, it shouldn't have to change. This stuff should be called in Oklahoma City. It's not like the ref should be swallowing the whistle based on where you're playing. If you see it, you should be calling it. If you see the stomp, if you see the hair pull, you need to call it. And ideally, the Spurs are sending this to the league or showing them the way NFL teams say, hey, our quarterback was hit, you missed it. Keep an eye out for this kind of stuff. It shouldn't matter because, now the Spurs are going to get to do it when they go to San Antonio. Or if we see the Thunder do it, we're going to call it a little harsher when we go to San Antonio. Okay, so when you go back to Oklahoma City for Game 6, that means what? Or for Game 5, that means you're going to just allow it again? No. And so what happens if they don't? If the refs keep allowing it? Are the Spurs going to do something? Because we saw what happens. I think it evens out. Well, here's what happens, though.
This stuff evens out when the team that plays like that aggressively at home, when they go on the road, usually the whistle gets them.
We saw what happens when Victor Wembanyama starts to get frustrated. We saw it last series.
He's throwing bows.
When he threw an elbow into Naz Reid's chin or neck area, wherever it was.
It's like a pterodactyl wing coming for your face.
Well, we saw it 2 nights ago. We saw it in Game 1 when he threw his shoulder into Alex Caruso.
Damn straight.
So
that's our guy, Wembanyama.
I know. But at a certain point, it's going to cost him a game. It already cost him 3 quarters, basically, in a game against the Timberwolves where they should have swept that series. But because he was out, they blew a lead in the 4th quarter, and they should have swept that series.
Did you see the rebound where he collected it, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, towards the end of Game 1, was swiping at him?
Yeah, he started hitting the ball,
and he you could see there was the half thought in Wembanyama's head, I could just throw an elbow right here.
Absolutely.
There goes the MVP.
But eventually, he's going to do that. He's going to do something that is going to cost him a game, and that might cost the Spurs a championship.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Raj, please proceed. You are in parts unknown in Colorado Springs. Yep.
Man.
You are a Nuggets fan, and your opinion on this situation as a Western Conference viewer is what?
The rest of the country is now seeing what we've been complaining about for about 2, maybe over 2 years. I laughed this year when it happened in New York against the Knicks because it got a lot of national coverage. And then again when they played the Lakers. And I think maybe when they played the Celtics, because Jaylen Brown complained about it afterwards. And for those of us here in Parts Unknown, Timberwolves fans, I'm assuming maybe Rockets fans are in this. We all just kind of had a select. We were the embodiment of that gif of Bruce Willis in Die Hard when he's like, "Welcome to the party, pal." Like, we've been complaining about these guys for years. This isn't like a new thing. Go watch. You can just go on YouTube and look at clip-ups of how Caruso guarded Jokic last year in like Game 5, Game 6, Game 7. It's exactly what you just saw Hartenstein doing.
Yeah.
Yes, like this is how they play. This is what they do. It's just now because of their success. And that's the way Abdalla, you nailed it. We all in the West, all of us fans in the West, no one's saying they're not good. Like, they don't have to do this stuff, but they do. So, on behalf of all of us in Parts Unknown in the middle of the country, welcome to the party, pal.
But here's the thing.
There he is, Raj Sharon.
We're all talking about this.
Please proceed.
Now, we didn't talk about this last year against the Pacers?
Yeah.
Was this brought? I understand the flopping and the foul baiting.
Okay, I think
the flopping
some of
and the
it,
foul baiting, yes.
I think some of it last year had to do with how good they were last year and also how new it felt.
Okay.
Like, there was a kind of thought that this was the start of a possible dynasty, and how cool is it that all of these young guys are this good? And somewhere along the last regular season, I think the tide has really shifted towards, yeah, they're young. Yeah, they're really good. But boy, these guys are annoying to watch.
I remember talking about the flopping. I don't ever remember them being labeled a dirty team.
No, I don't either. And what Raj is pointing to with Alex Caruso, like, that's kind of how Caruso has to play based on his size. And he's such a good defender, but he can get down there and body with some of those bigs, and we saw it on Wemby, and like Raj was mentioning against Jokic, like, his only way to stay competitive in those situations is to use maximum force.
Yeah.
He's smaller than most of these guys.
Oh, yeah, and that's fine.
I'm actually okay with the Caruso side of it. It's the when you start pulling hair, dude, that's lame. And then the Chet Holmgren from the jump comes across as a dude that's like, now you're stepping on people's feet like that. Like, someone just needs to throw an elbow right to the chin.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like that's what, like, someone needs to come correct and put Holmgren in his place if that's what he's going to do.
That's the problem, though. The problem is that when...
Well, it can't be Wemby.
But it's going to be, because we've seen him already twice in the playoffs get frustrated and do something. And once it cost him 3/4 of a game, and in game 1, he already lowered his shoulder and did something to Alex Caruso. And eventually, it might cost him something pretty big here.
And that's where you can text the show at 310-840-4910 from the 346. Here's the comment. Wemby better keep his cool and not get ejected, because OKC, they're going to grab and hold all series until they take him out.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's absolutely one way to look at it. From the 719, the Thunder aren't dirty. The league is just lame. I thought it was a technical foul to flop or hair pull or to foot stomp or to clap in someone's face. The question should be, is what's so wrong about calling out these infractions during the game?
719,
All right.
Southeastern and Central Colorado. Explain yourself, Raj. 719.
Is that Raj texting the show?
That is. That's my hood. Yeah.
719.
Oh, shout out. Let's see. Texting the show. Are the Oklahoma City Thunder dirty? From the 630. There's a difference between trying to get someone hurt and trying to injure someone. Stomping someone, trying to step on an ankle, pulling hair is trying to injure, and there's no place in the game for that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That is...
I got no problem with physical play. Physical's fine.
Let's see. From the 209, Chad in California. The Thunder are very dirty, cheesy, and floppy. SGA flailing all over the place, for lack of a better word, is whack.
Whack.
And a terrible watch. There you go. That's Chad in California from the 209. It's whack. Let's see. From the 541, are the Thunder dirty? Here's the response. The Thunder have a chance to be likable, a likable champion like the Warriors were. Looks like they'd rather have the, quote, us against the world mentality. Changing my opinion on them for sure. I don't feel like they're playing the game the right way. Dirty fouls and flopping like soccer players. That's from the 541. I mean, that's the way it appears to me, is that with all of this, the way that they're kind of approaching the game and approaching Wemby and approaching all of this, is they are trying to muck up the game, dirty it up, and trying to get into Wembanyama's head for hopefully him to respond.
Yeah, absolutely, because they know if they want to win a game easily, if he's out. Yep. That's how they get an easy game.
Here's a text from the 914. Hey, Bleck and Abdalla. I think the Thunder are partly doing what they're doing to Wemby on purpose so he can get mad and get kicked out of games.
Absolutely.
You know, it's an old playbook. It's a tired playbook. If you are a fan of a team that actually has skill and talent, you've seen this before. I saw this in the 90s with my Chicago Bulls. The Knicks were nowhere on the level that the Bulls were on, yet the Knicks tried to body and foul and do extra stuff after the whistle to get into Jordan and Pippen's heads. Unfortunately, talent always wins out.
Yep.
That's how the league is ran. And it's a playbook that's been out there before, and it just feels like the Thunder don't need to do it. But maybe they kind of think that they do because they see what's on the other side of the court. And what we saw in Game 1 was an all-time performance from Wembanyama.
Yeah, and they probably also know if they don't win this year, this might be the last one they get a chance at, because they see what's coming on the other side every single season for the rest of this run here for the Thunder.
You know, we had news the other day that Dallas fired Jason Kidd. So the Dallas Mavericks no longer have Jason Kidd as their head coach. They're looking for a new head coach. There's a name from college that's out there being rumored as a possible name the Mavericks are looking to come in and coach their team. We'll tell you who that is coming up next.
Spurs Thunder is living up to the hype. Series split 1-1 headed to San Antonio. Will Wemby or SGA take the edge in Game 3? We'll find out tomorrow night. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
All right, so last week, the Dallas Mavericks announced that Jason Kidd was fired. So now they're searching for a new head coach. Masai Ujiri is running the organization now for the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd wasn't his guy. Kidd also has the reputation of someone who's very good with X's and O's, but he gets under people's skin. He is not someone that lasts a long time in different spots, even though he has success. Like, I'm guessing Jason Kidd will be a head coach again in the NBA very quickly.
Yeah.
Because he gets results. Sounds a lot like another coach that you and I both really like, who's not coaching at this moment, who gets under people's skin, and that's Tom Thibodeau. Thibodeau gets results. Now, we can debate whether or not the Knicks made the right decision. It seems like right now, with Game 2 tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals, Knicks hosting 8 Eastern on ESPN television. You know, if the Knicks go up 2-0 and they're on their way to the finals, yeah, they made the right decision to go to Mike Brown and to fire Tom Thibodeau. With that said, it does sound like it's kind of the same thing with Jason Kidd and the Mavs. There is a name that has been rumored for the Mavericks that they are, quote, looking into. The Dallas Mavericks are looking into this name, and it's a college basketball coach who would have a direct tie to the best player and the number one pick last season with the Dallas Mavericks. That tie would be Cooper Flagg as the player, the star for the team for the future. And the coach that has been rumored that the Mavericks are looking into to see if he'd be interested in coaching in the NBA would be John Shire from Duke. I'm Duke. I'm Coach K.
Duke.
It's my court. John, are you going to leave us?
That means I can coach again.
I'm Coach K. It's my court. I'm Duke.
I'm Duke.
So John Shire, Clutch Points, Brett Siegel is reporting that Dallas is expecting to reach out to Shire, and they are looking into whether or not Shire would be interested in coaching the Dallas Mavericks.
If I were him, I wouldn't do it. I would stay at Duke. I know that we always get into the debate of NBA versus college, but it's Duke. It's like it's the job. Like there are certain jobs I think, and I know that it's the lifestyle and recruiting and everything like that, but it's Duke, and he also hasn't won anything yet at Duke. It'd be different if we were talking about someone who had won at the highest level at college basketball yet. He hasn't won anything yet.
So like Dusty May?
Yeah, someone who has won something.
Because
someone who has won.
Dusty May has been rumored in this offseason, in this NBA coaching cycle, as a guy that perhaps NBA teams may look at.
I also think that someone like John Shire, who, yes, is very young and could be looking at NBA jobs in the future, is also someone who, much like Coach K, could just be the head coach at Duke for a very long time.
But I'm Duke.
But I'm here.
I'm Coach K.
I'm Duke. He can't be me.
What's your major, student reporter?
Like he could just be happy at Duke for a very like Dan Hurley has won multiple championships. Like he's someone who always gets rumored for these NBA jobs, and he's won. So it wouldn't surprise me if at a certain point he wants to take the next step or even move on from UConn and go to another school and try winning somewhere else or winning in the NBA because he's won. John Shire hasn't won yet. And I think that if he does win, then you can have that conversation. If I were John Shire, I would not be having those conversations until I won something at Duke because it's more of an unfinished business type thing. Like I would still want to try to win unless, like, I get it. You get to go coach Cooper Flagg, all that kind of stuff. Unless it was like a really good, like storied franchise of the NBA, like it's the Mavericks. Like it's okay, but it's still the Mavericks.
Storied franchise, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say this. First of all, with the reports, the rumors out there that the Mavericks are interested, I'm not surprised. Right? Like, John Shire has had a lot of success at Duke. Sure, he has yet to win a national title. But as far as younger coaches go,
yeah,
a guy who's 38 and accomplished what he's accomplished to this point as a coach at Duke, he's pretty successful.
Absolutely.
I'm not surprised that Dallas would then also see Cooper Flagg and say, oh, someone that knows Cooper, he's our franchise. He's the guy we need to cater to for the next 10 years. So let's make him comfortable. Like, let's see if John Shire wants to coach the Mavs. I'm just surprised because there's another team in the NBA that still has yet to hire a head coach. I'm just surprised that this name hasn't been connected to the Chicago Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Being in Chicago, it's not that I've heard that the Bulls are interested in Shire, but that's kind of always been in the background.
Yeah.
That one day, Shire, when he's done at Duke, will be the coach of the Bulls. It's just out there. Shire is from the northern suburbs of Chicago. He's from Northbrook. He was Mr. Basketball in the state in high school. Famously, he was called White Jordan, right? That was the name. He was called in high school because he won a title from Glenbrook North in the northern suburbs in the state of Illinois, which is a huge high school basketball state. I'm just surprised that the first rumor we see for Shire connected to the NBA is not with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, but it's one that has a connection at least. Like, it's not completely random.
Does.
It's Cooper Flagg. It's not completely random.
And the Bulls have yet to hire a coach, and I believe the latest internet rumors are pointing towards Jerry Stackhouse.
It is from Mark Stein, yep.
Which I would love that. As a Bulls fan, if they were able to lock in Jerry Stackhouse,
yeah,
I think that would be great. Stackhouse has spent a lot of time post-playing in coaching development. He was coaching in the G League for a while. He's been on various head coaching staffs. I think Stackhouse deserves the opportunity, and that would make a lot of sense.
He's a Warriors assistant right now, yeah.
I'm just surprised that there has yet to be, because I think from what I can tell, Bulls related, the upper levels of the organization, I think, would be interested in Shire. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the new front office necessarily has a connection, but I do think it's always been like a pipe dream out there that they bring John back home type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like isn't that the best way to put that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, I'm not reporting anything, and I'm just saying, like, hearing things around town, it's always been, John spends a lot of time here.
I agree with you. But again, I am in the camp of, while he has accomplished a lot at Duke, he hasn't hit the ultimate goal yet.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
He hasn't. And, like, the way that they lost last season and the way that they lost in the NCAA tournament, I feel like that unfinished business is even more so in his brain, and trying to get back and trying to get to the top of the mountain there, and then maybe entertaining these jobs. Because Duke is like, when we rank, because we went through this when the North Carolina job was open, we ranked these jobs. We did this. Duke is the top, man.
Yeah,
Duke
it's one of the like 3 top jobs in college basketball,
if not the one.
It's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas.
And so if you're there,
and then the others, like, don't take offense if you're Kentucky or you're Michigan State or any of the other schools just slightly below. But it's Duke, it's North Carolina, it's Kansas. Those are the 3 top deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, much like when Coach K got there and, struggled early and all that kind of stuff, he could be a guy that is just there for a very long time. Maybe not his entire career, but he's very young. And unless like the perfect job came along, maybe it is the Bulls' job eventually or something. But unless the perfect job came along, I could see him sticking at Duke for a very long time.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Oh, I saw this yesterday and I wanted to bring it to the show. Did you guys know? Okay, so we're like a couple weeks away from the start of the World Cup, right? Mm-hmm. Soccer, the largest World Cup that we've ever seen.
We're going to talk about Phil Foden being left out of the England squad? Is that what we're doing?
I would love to break down what the international squads are.
They're being released today?
Releasing, and to break down the fact that Kobe Manu got onto the squad.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Over your guy Foden, but I think Raj would have a heart attack.
They're sending a message to Foden is what they're doing.
Okay, yeah. Did you see Harry Maguire was left off the English team as well?
Send it a message.
He's old. There's no message.
Well, they're sending a message to Foden.
He's also, Maguire's been playing great this year.
Was that the sound, or did we just go off the air?
No, that was Raj moaning.
Did we just go off the air?
I think Raj just moaned in parts unknown Colorado.
Hey, you want to talk some wrestling, guys? Let's talk some WWE while we're at this.
Westwood One. Please proceed.
That's the other place.
You don't want me to share my opinion on that. We want to keep the listeners, Raj. So that's the objective here. We don't want to talk about the wrestling, as you put it.
The wrestling.
It's the nicest thing I could say about it. All right.
The wrestling.
The soap opera in the ring, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. What's the guy do? He curses you? I don't know. I saw a bunch of that yesterday. The little clown guy. He's got clown makeup.
Yeah.
Right? Raj?
Like a vampire.
What's his name?
Yeah, he's Danhausen. He's helping the Knicks.
Okay. All right. So I saw that. I want to get I love it.
He cursed the Cavs.
No, I think you guys will be interested in this because it doesn't have to be a soccer topic. Okay? Here's the thing. For the World Cup, they are partnering with AMC theaters, and in different cities around the country, you can watch World Cup games at movie theaters, at AMC theaters. Is that cool? Is that something you'd be interested in? If you can't get tickets to go to a World Cup game, to be in a social setting and to watch with other people, and B, would you watch your favorite team, it doesn't have to be soccer, any sport, from a movie theater? Like, it actually is kind of an ingenious way for theaters to make some money if they could just show sporting events. Like, haven't they done this in the past with college football games? Like the college football playoff, they showed in AMC theaters, so you could go and watch your college football team in the movie theater?
Yes, they've done that before with big marquee events like that before. Yes, they have.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Chris, but AMC Theaters has been doing this all year for WWE premium live events like Backlash last weekend. You could have went and watched that at your local AMC
Yes.
theater.
You could watch Backslap with your other wrestling fans. You could watch it with the clown guy with his curses. You could watch that from the AMC theaters.
Yeah, Dan
That dude is like Costos' hero right now, okay?
I'm sure he is. It's probably Costos. I mean,
Probably
isn't
is
he
Costos.
short like Costos? Aren't they about the same size?
Oh, man.
Aren't they about the same size?
All right, I'm clipping this and sending it to Bill right now.
Okay, but first of all, that's not a shot at Costos. It's a shot at the wrestler.
You talking
knows
to
that he's
the
a short
Rolex
guy?
Wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
So would you guys watch?
I just wanted to let it breathe for a clean out. I want to clean out.
Make sure you clip Raj that I love Costos and he's the man. And we listen to a show every day.
I listen to it every day. The Power Hour.
Yes. Don't do it dirty like that. Zimmerman's great too.
You love Bill.
I think here's the thing. It's more of a situation where it's like you have to advance to a certain point. Like get out of the group. You know what I mean?
You're not going for group play?
I'm not going for group play. Like you gotta get to a certain point.
All
because again, the World Cup, because it's during the summer.
It's fun, man.
It's fun, but I want to go to like one of the watch parties outdoors.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are fun.
You know,
I like
and
put
when
up
the
the big
goals are
screen.
scored, people are throwing their beers in the air.
I can't do that at an AMC. I can't throw my milk duds in the air.
Your popcorn?
Sure you can.
No.
Yeah, they did it for the chicken jockey thing.
What?
Come on, movie people. Raj and Laura, you guys know.
I am a movie
The
person.
Minecraft movie.
Oh, yeah.
When Jack Black says it's a chicken
but then
jockey.
they had to put up signs asking people not to do that.
Who cares? Rules. Do it anyway.
Come
on.
I would watch a game at the AMC theaters. Yep.
See, Laura's in.
Well, Laura goes to like 3 movies a night.
A night?
Yeah.
I do.
It's the only thing she does outside of working this show.
She's single-handedly saving movie
I
theaters.
am.
She's going to be the Nicole Kidman in
When they
the
think
pre-movie.
AMC premium members, they're actually thinking.
You know those movies at the Oscars nobody's ever heard of? Laura saw those.
I did see
Oh,
that.
of course.
Every short, every documentary, everyone.
She was so mad at me last week for watching Project Hail Mary at home and paying for it at home.
You
and
paid
not
for it, though.
Yeah, but I didn't go to a theater, and she was
Wow.
so disappointed in me.
I still am.
She still is.
She still is. That's
All right. Well, I thought it was cool. I saw that this summer, some of the World Cup games, depending on the city that you're in, like let's see, I saw Houston promoting.
Okay.
You could watch Paraguay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what's that? You could see the Mexico's first game in Houston at the theater as well. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
All right.
It's great. But you're right. The summertime, the watch parties outside, that's the
Yeah,
fun
like if
of
this
the
was a
World Cup.
winter thing, then I'd be like, all right, I'll sit inside. But this is a summer sport,
Well,
a
would you
summer
go?
event.
Would you go watch an NFL playoff game at a theater?
No. Because I don't care unless it's my team. Like I like an NFL playoff game. Like I care about watching because I like the sport. But
I don't
like,
think you like people.
yeah, that might be it.
That might be it. Bleck Abdalla, sponsored by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. That wasn't a shot at Costos. I was just saying that, what's his name? Hauser? Dan Hauser? The makeup guy with the he's got like the
You
he's
called
like
him short.
No, he is short. They're both shorter guys. You're short. We're all short. I'm short. I'm really trying
Clean
to
out.
backtrap now.
There was a clean out.
I'm really trying to backpedal.
There was a clean out right
I'm
there.
really trying
Raj.
to backpedal.
There was a clean out right there, Raj, for you.
So Costos knows that I love him. As he's out, and tonight he's going to get a victory with the Knicks. He's going to be excited tomorrow. It's going to be a big deal. Can't wait.
Clean out.
Let's preview the Cavs and the Knicks. Can the Cavs bounce back in Game 2? We'll talk about that next.
Aaron Rodgers says this season is his last.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Will Rodgers go out like John Elway and Peyton Manning did with a Lombardi trophy in his hands? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Check out the podcast of today's show on Apple and on Spotify. You can also watch the show daily on YouTube, Bleck and Abdalla Show. Like and subscribe to us right there. Thank you to Raj and Laura for producing today's show, Bleck and Abdalla. Up next here on Westwood One Sports in about 13 minutes, Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show will take over right here on Westwood One Sports. We'll be back tomorrow from noon to 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports. Tonight in the NBA, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Cleveland Cavaliers at the New York Knicks, 8 Eastern on ESPN television. Game 1 of the series had an epic comeback from the New York Knicks, down 22 in the fourth quarter. The Knicks came back. They won the game in overtime. And quite honestly, in overtime, it wasn't even close. A lot of the talk, though, heading into Game 2 tonight is off of the idea of how do the Cavs get through a game with James Harden on the court defensively, while also, in my opinion, he's the only one that can facilitate for their offense. He was the one that was getting good looks for the other players. On offense, it's just the shots from Mobley or Merrill. Those shots didn't fall late for the Cavs, and we'll see what the health is for Donovan Mitchell. He looked like he was a little slow and injured in Game 1, especially in the fourth quarter, because ideally you would have him running the point, running the offense, making the decisions, but it was Harden, and Harden was making good basketball decisions down the stretch. It's just the shots didn't fall, and he's atrocious defensively. So how do the Cavs kind of figure that out tonight against the Knicks?
Well, you got to hope that somehow James Harden can do something defensively. He's not going to end up being able to do that. But can Donovan Mitchell be what we saw for a couple games in the last series where he shows out and becomes your leading, scorer and puts a bunch of buckets in? Because he can do that. Now, you're right. It has looked at times like he's been playing with some form of injury or unhealthy or whatever it is. And it looked like they just ran out of gas. Now, they had just come off of a 7-game series. So does that even out a little bit now that both teams are coming off the same amount of rest? Both teams have had a day off in between each of these games. So does that kind of even this out, whereas you saw once they got out to that huge lead, their legs just kind of didn't have it, and that's where the Knicks were able to kind of mount that comeback and then run away with it in overtime. Now that the rest is even, does Donovan Mitchell play a little bit better? Does Harden step up on defense? What does Harden look like after having a free night in New York? What? It's true. Someone does the research.
Where do you think he went?
I don't know the places in New York. I'm not out in the streets like that
What's
anymore.
the hot spot?
I'm not out in the streets like that anymore.
Where's he at? Carbone?
For dinner. I don't know where he goes after that.
The corner store?
Maybe.
Where's he at in New York City?
I don't know the spots. I can't look those up on a company computer.
I named restaurants. Why can't you name restaurants?
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're saying that James Harden went to the strip club last night.
I'm just saying. You said it, not me, man. Just listen.
What?
I didn't say that. You said it.
Yeah, you're being awkward about it.
I'm just saying.
Let it rip.
I'm just saying.
Why not?
That James Harden played like that the other night. And maybe
like he was out late?
Like he was out late. But it might have just been him coming off a 7-game series. And the rest, because that's the way the rest of the team looked.
Yes.
But
okay.
like we've pointed out in the past.
I had tassels on my pasties.
Yeah,
when
the QVC lady.
When the Knicks can score.
He was hanging out with the QVC lady. That's what you're suggesting.
I had tassels on my pasties.
I mean, if that's how Harden goes, then sure. When the Knicks can score in abundance like they did late in the game, that's when they're at their best. They don't have to play defense. They don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, and they can use and go against Harden, who doesn't want to play any defense, and that's what they were able to take advantage of.
I don't know if he doesn't want to. He's like incapable of doing it.
I mean, he doesn't want to.
This is where, it's so obvious the plan of attack from the Knicks, right? You find whoever Harden decides to cover, and you send them at Jalen Brunson as the guy to set the screen. And ideally, if you're the Cavs, the way that you combat this is you just say, James, stick with that player who's setting the screen, hedge, get back to that player, and let the defender on the ball guarding Jalen Brunson fight through the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And you hope that you have enough help defense on the backside from Allen or Mobley where Jalen Brunson can't get all the way to the rim off of the hedge from Harden. The problem with that is that James Harden is so slow that he can't hedge and he doesn't get back to his original defender. So what they end up doing is they do a lazy switch.
Yeah.
And they just pass it off, which a lot of teams do that to conserve energy throughout a game is you come up to the pick and roll situation and you immediately pass off the defender and you swap the two.
Yeah.
Right? Harden is so slow that even when they switch, he can't get to the ball handler. And then if the other defender tries to make up for that, now the guy that's setting the screen is wide open for a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays into the Knicks' hand every single possession.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, one of two things need to happen. It's either the Cavs can't play James Harden or he needs to blank up and like, play a little defense.
Well, they're not going to not play James Harden.
Well, right. So, play a little like, just get in the way. Him getting in the way would be a better option than what he was doing in game one. Like, he was doing nothing. And he was standing so far off of the ball handler, which was Brunson in most of those situations, that Brunson just took advantage of him every single time.
Well, and that's what we saw in the last series, too, that Brunson was able to do. And if they know they can do that, that's when we see them be at their best. So if he can do that, then I think the Knicks end up winning tonight. And maybe the Cavs can try to do something when they get back home. But I think the Knicks win again tonight because I just don't think the Cavs have an answer for them.
Like, dude, like this is what you have to like say to James Harden is you're an all-time player. You're an Hall of Fame player. And yes, you stink defensively. But a lot of guys in the NBA stink defensively. But the difference is if you can get an effort from someone, it's manageable. You can do it. You can get by with that. And the name that I always point to is Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is not great defensively, but he gives an effort.
Yeah.
And you can win with that. You can get by with that. James Harden gave no effort in the fourth quarter. I'm also looking to see if Karl Anthony Towns shows up. He played poorly in game one. If he plays well tonight, then the Knicks roll and they'll go up 2-0 in the series. And they'll be on their way to the NBA Finals, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think they will be. I think that they end up winning tonight and they go to Cleveland up 2-0, and we'll see if Cleveland can respond in games 3 and 4.
Yeah, so game 2 is tonight, 8 Eastern. It'll be on ESPN television. The Cavs and the Knicks after the Knicks with that big comeback in game 1. We'll see what happens tonight. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up next right here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.